I stayed quiet when he traded me, but I will not be quiet.
Gradually declined after the Luka trade. They plummeted, looking like a team whose identity had been ripped away overnight. The downfall had layers, tension, pressure, and unresolved issues that kept building until everything finally snapped. And once Luka finally spoke about what happened behind the scenes, the entire situation took on a completely different tone. His explanation wasn't angry or emotional, it was focused, cold, and precise. The kind of tone that makes it clear that he had been holding on to the truth for a long time. Where you can direct a voice, create realistic dialogue, and so much more. Edit these placeholders to get started.
On the truth for a long time.
You know, the Mavericks went from the finals a year and a half ago to the worst record in the Western Conference right now.
That calm delivery made Luka's words hit even harder, almost like the way Michael Jordan responded when someone tried to challenge him. It wasn't loud, emotional, or chaotic. It was precise, and precision cuts deeper than noise. Dallas believed Nico Harrison would guide them into a stronger, more disciplined era. He arrived preaching identity, structure, defense, and toughness, promising to reshape the Mavericks from the inside out. But the moment he traded Luka, every promise evaporated. The Mavericks opened the 2025-26 season by losing 8 of their first 11 games, one of the worst starts in franchise history. Fans packed the arena not to cheer, but to chant "Fire Nico" until the entire building echoed with it. Governor Patrick Dumont eventually stepped in, ending Harrison's tenure with a statement that tried to sound respectful, but clearly acknowledged the franchise needed a full reset. Michael Finley and Matt Riccardi were placed in charge as interim general managers, tasked with stabilizing a storm they didn't create.
Yeah, but just to lay things out for people, I mean, Luka's a legit generational talent.
You don't have to convince me.
But it's
yeah. I mean, I don't get it either.
You don't get it either.
No.
Luka didn't need anyone to explain his value. He's a legitimate generational player, and everyone in the league knows it. The confusion around the trade wasn't just from fans. Even other executives and analysts openly admitted they didn't understand the decision. But Harrison didn't back down publicly. Even as the numbers exposed the damage, he kept repeating, "Defense wins championships," almost as if saying it enough times would magically change the reality on the court. Fans weren't buying it. They didn't just dislike the trade, they despised the fallout. Losing Luka shattered the offense, disrupted the chemistry, and left the team looking completely lost. Even Mark Cuban later admitted he wouldn't have approved the move, and hearing that from someone who shaped the franchise for decades made the situation sting even more. That single comment revealed just how misaligned the front office had become. Behind the scenes, things were even more chaotic. Insiders said Harrison spent weeks secretly speaking with Lakers GM Rob Pelinka. During those conversations, Harrison became fixated on Anthony Davis as the anchor he believed could reshape Dallas. He envisioned a defensive powerhouse built on physicality, rim protection, and toughness, an identity he thought could replace everything Luka brought.
You know, we think defense wins championships, and we're bringing in one of the best two-way players in the league.
But that vision clashed with the reality of the roster. The Mavericks had spent years building around Luka, and trying to flip the entire identity of the team overnight wasn't just bold, it was reckless. Scouts were stunned when they learned about the deal. Many felt blindsided and ignored, as if the blueprint they had spent years constructing had been thrown out without warning. Some whispers inside the organization suggested Harrison doubted Luka's long-term fit, worrying about his defensive limitations or the financial weight of his upcoming Supermax contract. Whether those concerns were real or exaggerated, they directly shaped the decision.
have happened a long time ago. It's late. Okay, that's the worst trade I have ever seen in my life.
There are many who would concur.
Just a terrible, terrible trade.
The on-court results turned the situation from bad to outright embarrassing. Dallas ranked dead last in offensive efficiency, playing at one of the fastest paces in the league without producing points. It didn't look like a system, it looked like chaos. The defense, which Harrison had promised would improve, collapsed even further. Mistakes piled up. Blowout losses became routine. Players looked frustrated, coaches looked overwhelmed, and fans felt completely disconnected from the new identity they never wanted in the first place. Off the court, the damage was even worse. Attendance dropped sharply. Businesses around the arena reported smaller crowds. Merchandise sales plummeted. Then the front office added fuel to the fire by raising ticket prices 8.61% immediately after trading Luka. Fans were already furious, and that decision pushed them over the edge. Nearly 700,000 people unfollowed the Mavericks' Instagram account, a massive public sign of how quickly the franchise had lost its support.
Mavericks went from the finals a year and a half ago to the worst record in the Western Conference right now.
That wasn't a random number, it was the city's message written in plain sight. Trust had been completely shattered. Anthony Davis, the centerpiece of Harrison's gamble, couldn't stay healthy. After a strong debut, he missed 18 straight games with an adductor strain. When he finally returned, he played only briefly before suffering another injury. The Mavericks eventually sent him to the G League just to get controlled reps. Everyone in the league already knew Davis carried a long injury history. Everyone except Harrison seemed unaware of the risk. Betting an entire franchise on a player with that kind of track record was an invitation for disaster. And disaster is exactly what Dallas got. While the Mavericks
He kept saying defense wins championships. I guess getting fired wins too.
TV ratings exploded to levels networks hadn't seen in years. Luka's Laker debut pulled in 2.55 million viewers. His jersey instantly became the top seller in the league, and Lakers merchandise shot to #1. Even the NBA's official social media channels practically turned into non-stop Luka highlight reels. Teammates raved about receiving anything close to equal value in return. Luka never fired back at critics or took shots at his former team. He simply dominated. And when Harrison was eventually fired, a reporter asked Luka for his thoughts. He just smirked and delivered a single sharp line.